Dhanyavad Maharaj.
Dhanyavad. Fine. Anybody home? Okay.
Yes, few are here.
Okay. So let's start, because we're not going to be able to do it very long. Okay, I also have some Russian class, and driving around downtown LA. We have some event going on. So just for short, first of all, I want to thank everybody to be a part of this program. It's not a big program, but important, because we will talk about Jagannath Ratha Yatra. We know that it's happened yesterday, but it's continually happening for some time. It's a very auspicious, very special occasion. And normally at that time, devotees are getting together, chanting, preaching, organizing worships, festivals, and celebrating the holy Ratha Yatra, which is basically taking roots in Jagannath Puri, in Shankatirtha Dham, one of the most holiest, auspicious places on earth, where by the blessings of devotees and gods and goddesses, Lord Jagannath decide to appear, and that place considered to be non-different from Vaikuntha, spiritual world. In fact, not just spiritual world, is where Vrindavan and Dwaraka would meet together. It's kind of a special zone where two planes of reality are meeting, and where Lord Jagannath resides. So the question comes, who is Lord Jagannath, and what is the difference between Vrindavan and Puri Dham? And as we say, same, but different. So normally, we can say Krishna never leave Vrindavan. Krishna always stay in Vrindavan. At the same time, Krishna expand outside of Vrindavan for his divine pastimes. So when Krishna came to this earth 5,000 years ago, as we see two Krishna manifest. One Krishna is one Krishna as Nandanandan, Yashodanandan, son of Yashoda and Devaki. I'm sorry, Yashoda and Nanda. And one is Krishna Vasudev, who was taken birth in family of Kshatriyas, as we call Devaki Nandan. So there's two Krishnas, the same, but it's the same, we say in Thailand, same, but different, which technically means it's Krishna who has numerous expansions, but the difference is Krishna from Vrindavan has four unique features. Gaura-lila, Madhurya, etc. He's very sweet, and his play is very sweet. When Krishna taken position of the king of Dwaraka, named Dwaraka, he's actually an expansion of original Krishna, and he is Krishna with different function. Different function means even in Dwaraka, he's worshipped as four hands, means but God. Then for God to take position of God, it's means that God has some position where he's on vacation. So we can say Krishna's on vacation when Krishna in Vrindavan. That's his very private, very special play of his pastimes, very sweet, has very a private entourage, his parents, his friends. And when Krishna leaving that Vrindavan, going to Dwaraka, going to king and rule the earth and clean the earth from demons, Krishna has another function, because Krishna is saying Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya chatushkritam. I am, number one reason is to give love and affection to sadhu devotees. And second is Vinasha Chadushkritam, to clean the world from the demons. It happened to be that the world we're living is highly desirable by demons, and demons want to take over that world. And so the demonic forces are gathering, so that have to Krishna have to come to this world and direct Mahabharata, which technically means elimination of humanity. But what kind of humanity? Demonic humanity, just like what right now war is going on. And the world is also elimination of humanity. And it's actually done by claiming. In Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Krishna comes with also the same purpose. And what is explained in scriptures that Krishna like to short undesirable population, because when people born in this world, their businesses to be engaged in self-realization. If they're just engaged in sinful activities, they're not just wasting their time, they're going to hell. So Krishna is trying to create evolution to speed up evolution. To speed up evolution means to, when we have clear understanding between evil and good, then we can clearly take our sides. When the difference between evil and good are not clear, then most people have no understanding of discrimination. They're not able to make a decision. So that means we have to make a decision in our light. We have to stand on side. We can't just be, oh, maybe this, maybe that. It's a very liberal philosophy. Liberal philosophy means I'm accepting everything, the good and bad. But that's not what Krishna wants. He wants you to participate in devotional service, and he wants to participate in the path of truth. So there was choice between, the followers of Krishna and followers of demons. And even Krishna gave his own army to the demons. He said, okay, you can take my own army or you can take me. So, the demons decide, oh, we like to take Krishna's army. Very clear. So, but the Pandavas, the devotees said, no. Even if Krishna comes to us without army, we need Krishna. We want Krishna in our team. We love Krishna, we worship Krishna. And with Krishna, we can, overcome all the difficulties. So sometimes you have to make that kind of hard choice. Is that something material? Is that something opulent? Is that something powerful? Or it's Krishna and Krishna consciousness. So that is the choice we're just about to make. And once we made the proper choice, we're on the proper side of things, or we're on the side of opposition. So it's been very clear. But again, this is not function of original Krishna. Original Krishna, he revealed his pastimes in Vrindavan, and sometimes he killed the demons. But of course, the demons are adding sweetness and extreme in play of Krishna, because there is no demons in spiritual world. So there's also kind of demons, but it's more like mystification. In material world, there are real demons. So when there's real demons entering Vrindavan by Krishna's will, and they play with Krishna, Krishna feels very great joy by killing them and by saving his devotees. And that makes the Krishna pastimes more sweet. And of course, those demons pastimes are very beneficial for us, because each demon represents ourselves, the bad characters of our heart, like greed, anger, lust, etc., which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj. But that is the one part of Krishna pastimes. His deepest part pastimes is love of his friends, love of his animals, birds, trees, love of his parents, love of his beloved, girlfriends, and highest love of Radharani. So that pastimes is something very deep, and that pastimes is very high level pastimes. So it's not really for us to, examine Krishna pastimes with his Radharani and beloved gopis, but we know very few things about that. We know that they have very intimate pastimes and during certain times of year, during certain night times. They have beautiful dance. They have loving gatherings, etc. So it's very, very sacred pastimes, and we're not trying to stick our nose into it and try to we have to figure out exactly what Krishna does, exactly how he dance, exactly how he do this or that. So that's not our nature. As a devotee, we worship those pastimes, and sometimes we can hear their glory from lips of devotee with a proper mood and respect. And gradually, there'll be some taste for us to develop. So Vindev Gaura Vindam, through Mahaprabhu, through going to Chaitanya Lila, because Chaitanya Lila is the gateway to Krishna Lila, but all the same gopis, all the same Krishna's devotees in Chaitanya pastimes, they take form of male devotees and Krishna consciousness practitioners. So it's not just some esoteric ideas. They're showing you what is sacrifice. They show you what is devotion, like Raghunath Das Goswami, Haridas Thakur, all the Svarup Damodar, all these great characters. They will show you what is devotion, and it's not some kind of esoteric tales. It's very, very understandable for us. Like, for instance, we see that Raghunath Das Goswami, he wouldn't even, eat certain times, and he would remain on little food and going into a 24-hour meditation and chanting and remembering pastimes of Lord. And also through devotees like Raghunath Das Goswami, Svarup Damodar, Krishna Das Kaviraj, although they lived very, very austere life, and we can see such a sweet and such a great wave of devotional poetry and devotional literature came. So they were not just doing their own spiritual practice, just like what Yogi is doing. Yogi, he's involved in his own self-development. Yogi doesn't have friends. Yogi doesn't hang out. He maybe teach some other yogi, but mainly Yogi is it's their own self-benefit. What can I do for myself? But devotee, he lived for the benefit of others. So as we can see, our great teachers, they sacrifice themselves for benefit of others, and they gave us the great, knowledge and many books, many instructions. And this is something we can't even appreciate on our childish level, because right now we're in very general beginning level of Krishna consciousness. So, but still, we need to understand what is going on. So Krishna, when he left Vrindavan and lived in Vrindavan about 12 to 14 years, the gopis and gopas felt separation because Krishna was present 100 years on the earth. So think of this, just playing child pastimes and youth pastimes. He was in Vrindavan, and as soon as he came out of his youth and become mature king and married 60,000 princess, he went to Mathura, but Mathura was attacked by Jarasandha 18 times and demons, and Krishna was so tired of fighting in Mathura that he even ran away with Balarama on 19th time, and 19th time he went to Goa. He started running towards Goa, and he hid himself in the mountains of Goa. That's why Goa is so popular as a hippie place, but most people don't understand, because Krishna were hiding on Goa, chilling in Goa, beautiful mountains by the beach, and those demons were surrendered the mountain with army, and when the hot season came and the green is dry, they burned the mountain. But Krishna and Balarama, they just jump out of mountain. They didn't care about, they just made a jump, like a extreme flying jump, and they had fun. And they attacked the demons from the back and kicked their ass. And the idea, the acharyas explained that they just had fun, and they didn't want Jarasandha and demons to disturb Madhura. They said, okay, we fight them 18 times, we defeat them 18 times, but this 19th time, let's take these idiots away from Mathura. And then Krishna thought,
well, if I openly will display my appreciation of Vrindavan, then these demons will attack Vrindavan. So don't let the thing, demons should not think about Krishna and Vrindavan something important. They think that's just a village people, we don't care. We need to get Krishna as a king, that's where we got to get him. That's why Krishna is very cleverly decide to go to Kushastali. Kushastali is the land of Kush, which is not different from the Vaikuntha itself, and been giving to Anarta, or it's the kingdom of Anarta. It's been given to one of the son of the king by Vishnu himself. So because that his father was a big empire of the world, and he decided to share the world between his sons. But when his son Anarta heard how much arrogant the empire, he said, "Father, don't you understand? Everything belongs to God. You're acting like you're the God." Well, he said, "Well, my son, I am in charge of this earth, and I'm the great king. So if you don't like me acting like a god, then you go and ask your land from the god himself directly." Basically, he said, look, I'm the king, I'm in charge, and I'm in position. But the son showed his great character, and he went on the bank of the ocean, and he did some austerities. And by austerities, Vishnu was very pleased, and he said, "Okay, I give you that land. I give you my own land. Don't worry about your father. Yeah, I'll give you." And he asked ocean to step back. So that land of Anarta is called also land of Chakra Tirtha. The chakra is there. Everywhere is there a chakra. That's why land of Dwaraka is basically the water came, the water stepped back, and what was underwater, that become Kushastali, or land of Anarta. So that land was very famous. So Krishna didn't just got a new one, but it says the demons were controlling that land, and Krishna had to fight the demon. That demon still in Dwaraka temple. He's been in Samadhi, hidden in a temple. They worship him, an inimical demon. And basically, actually, technically speaking, Dwaraka is the land of Balaram. I don't remember, but because Balaram married Revati Devi, and Revati family had claim on Dwaraka. That's another story. But basically, so Krishna came to Gujarat. He came to the Kushastali, and he revealed outside of water that same Kushastali place and rebuilt it again. So in other words, he restored ancient kingdom of Kush, and built beautiful city, which is described in Garga Samhita as Dwaraka Kanta. It's an incredible mystical city of Dwaraka. And because that mystical city, just like Carthage or other Venice, were built right on water, it's become not just perfect fort, it's also become perfect place of trade. And all the kings from all the Arabian Sea, they want to trade with Dwaraka. So Dwaraka is still, by Krishna's grace, Gujarat is one of the biggest sea port in India. All the containers, all the big things coming to Gujarat. So Krishna basically create civilization which had connection with everybody. And especially that's why Arabs and Jews and all these Middle East people, they would come there buy spices, buy precious stones, buy pearls, everything. And they would take it to Middle East, and from Middle East they would sell to Europe, etc. So that people don't understand, how important was the kingdom of Krishna. It was a huge, amazing kingdom. And also the Raivata mountain, which is about 80 kilometers from Dwaraka, which I was lucky to visit once, it's the place of Krishna pastimes, where Krishna would come with his family and his wives and princess, and they would spend their weekend there on the bank of Raivata mountain, on their beautiful waterfalls and the beautiful lakes. Now less, of course, 5,000, but there used to be like a huge lake there. So they would just go there and do the picnic and stay in the forest, and they would feel they're like in Vrindavan. So basically speaking, this Raivata mountain, this also came from Himalayas. It is no different than Govardhan. And all the mystic yogis still have their ashrams by the banks of Raivata mountain, by the hills of Raivata mountain. And Gaura-lila and all the Dattatreya, the great big yogis came there. But really, Raivata mountain is after Revati, the wife of Balaram. There she achieved her austerities there. And as she's daughter of the king, she promised she's going to marry the most powerful man in the world, which is Sankarshan. So she was Naga Lakshmi, and she was wife of Sankarshan. And she reincarnated as a daughter of king. So sometimes, you know, in pastimes like Parvati and Shiva, they meet again, they're born again. So it's the same kind of pastime where the Naga Lakshmi, waiting for her husband to come on earth from Patala Loka, from lower planetary system. She born to do the pastimes with Krishna and Balaram. And as the daughter of king, she said, I will only marry one who has the most powerful. So all the gods tried to seduce her, the Agni, Indra, you know, everybody liked her. She's very beautiful. And she was actually happened to be from, she'd done so many austerities. So she was like a little tall woman because she was from another yuga. So when she appeared in Kali Yuga, she was a little bit bigger than Balaram. So Balaram had to like shape her into smaller. He said, like, you know, my wife is too big. She's from like, how old is your wife? Oh, she's about like, you know, 2 million years old. So Balaram had to bring her by mystic power into size, but she still was a little bit oversized. Like, so you can see she's like a little giant girl, but Balaram liked big girls. So he had no problem. See his consort and understanding that's all for Lila. So this Revata place is in between Jambavan Guha, the cave of Jambavan, and Sudama Puri, the place where Brahman Sudama lived. So there are many, many wonderful places in Gujarat, and as well as Prabhasa Kshetra, the place where Krishna left the world as well. So that part of not very well explored by Gaudiya Vaishnavas, but I was lucky to be there and to pilgrimage there. And it was just amazing, especially after Dwaraka, after Vrindavan Kartika. When Vrindavan becomes so cold, you go to Dwaraka and you enjoy the beautiful, amazing weather of Dwaraka and amazing prasadam in Dwaraka temple. And, you know, it's kind of a dream. I don't know why, but I was so lucky to, in this life, I visit all these places. And of course, by my heart, I want to visit them again, but we'll see what Krishna's will. So, you know, you need to learn to appreciate all these things. And if you are not appreciative of Krishna consciousness, you will just not take it properly. You take for granted. So I think so much mercy that I got from Guru and Krishna, I took a little bit for granted. I thought, well, I'll do it next time. No, next time may never happen in this life. So you have to be ready this time, right at this moment. Otherwise, if you don't feel appreciation, proper appreciation, if you're taking these things for granted, you know, that may not happen to you in this life or a million life after. So that's, you know, a little bit of my own understanding now, but normally, you know, the good experience coming to us through pain and suffering. But if the pain and suffering will bring you back to Krishna, it's not bad pain. If it take you away from Krishna, then it's not a good thing. So anything that take us away from Krishna is not good, whether it appear to be good, pleasures and wealth and fame, and everything will take us back to Krishna. It appeared to be a, you know, good thing if we take it properly. So my inner feelings is also that we should continue. I give very general idea about Krishna living in Dwaraka as a king over 100 years, ruling the kingdom, enjoying the family life, and has many children, and has many great sons like Pradyumna, Aniruddha, etc. But still, he does not feel that inner fulfillment that he feels is his use in Vrindavan. And all the queens of Dwaraka are very disturbed. Why is that our husband nighttime shouting names of cows and other gopis? Who is this gopis? Who is this village girls? Like we are first-class ladies. We serve our husband with all possible way, and still our husband sometimes showing us that he remember all the pastimes with other women. So which is women has little jealousy by nature, and the jealousy of queens of Dwaraka lead them to discover who is this woman, what are they doing, who is this Radharani, who is this Lalita, what are they, what is unique about them. But there's not too many people in Dwaraka can explain to them, because not everybody who moved to Dwaraka have been ever in Vrindavan. So there are a few fortunate souls that start explaining to them. Krishna has very special pastimes, and he's had a childhood, and he really loved Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Baba. So, some people think, oh, well, he was the king, he was adopted by them, but they don't understand. He born there in Vrindavan. That's his original parents. But again, there's between two of these groups of devotees, dilemma is going on, and that dilemma is adding more sweetness. And Krishna feel so much separation that sometimes he's like sick, he's like dying, or sometimes even Brahma creating for him Vrindavan and this Raivata mountain, and Krishna coming to Raivata mountain, he feels like he's coming to Vrindavan, but it's not original Vrindavan, so it's a good copy, very well made copy of Vrindavan, but not the original Vrindavan. So original Vrindavan is part of Goloka Vrindavan, part of eternal Krishna's pastimes. And the inhabitants of Vrindavan, there's so much observed in Krishna Katha, Krishna consciousness, that they technically has different stages. Like the trees, there's so much remember Krishna, then they cannot even move. And they're willing, okay, if I never see Krishna, I'm just so happy that maybe one day he passed by me, he pick up my flower. So the trees of Vrindavan, there's so much in deep meditation, love of Krishna, they can't even move. But they're just, observing Krishna consciousness. That's why they said Madhavendra Puri possibly was one of the three of Vrindavan who can highlight the love of all the whole world. Then next group of, like friends of Krishna. And friends of Krishna, they're kids. But the way their mindset is, they always play with Krishna. Just like, kids, they always play. So when their parents see them, they can understand. This friends of Krishna, they always play. They always think about plays of Krishna. Oh, we go here, we go there. So even that group of devotees also very high level, but they're so much intensively engaged in Krishna consciousness that they feel separation, but always in mind that Krishna going on. And the highest feeling is the parents and Radharani group. This is the group that are really feeling intense separation, very intense separation, especially the Madhurya Rasa group. So they're technically so much in separation that they want to die, but they cannot die because there's no service in death. And sometimes Uddhava or other devotees coming back, and these devotees, their main source of nourishment is Krishna Nam, chanting the name of Krishna and hearing Krishna songs and pastimes of Krishna. So for you to understand that what we're doing is talking about Krishna and chanting the name of Krishna. This is the highest practice of liberated souls, given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is so powerful that this can liberate anybody if you have the grace of Vaishnava. Just like beginning of spiritual upliftment is the grace of Vaishnava. And by grace of Vaishnava, we have faith in holy name. And if you're developing your proper Krishna consciousness and stay faithful, then there's hope. If you start committing offenses of holy name and continue a sinful life, then there's no hope, because you're not appreciating something higher that has been given to you. Don't think we got something lower. We give the highest, we're giving from our gurus, the highest possible gift of Krishna name and hearing Harikatha. And this Harikatha coming from Svarup Damodar and Krishnadas Kaviraj is the highest possible, true, not imaginary, true pastimes of Supreme Lord. So in a short story, make a short story long or long story short, because we're not going to have very long program today. So Krishna, feeling separation, beloved gopis and friends and families in Vrindavan, and wants to meet, wants to come back, and have different occasions. Sometimes gopis come to Siddha Ashram, sometimes the Vrindavan inhabitants coming to Kurukshetra, because Krishna creates all kind of excuses. How can I meet my beloved family members and Radharani? And those meetings are extraordinary, but they cannot give full fulfillment to Krishna, because only Vrindavan is the place where he can completely reveal his pastimes, where he feels like home. It's his stage. So other places, okay, he has some fulfillment. They have some fulfillment, not complete, not what they all want, not what their heart want. So finally, Krishna, need to come back. And, gopis, they don't believe Uddhava, they don't believe Akrura. They say, well, Krishna's sending all us as messengers, Akrura taking Krishna away, Uddhava is reading his letters to us. But really, without Krishna, we cannot live anymore. At that very moment, Krishna also feels so much extreme separation that he's so overwhelmed. And his sister Subhadra telling, okay, I go pacify the gopis. I go there, because gopis also ladies. I know what ladies' heart. I can share ladies' heart. Men, they don't believe. They don't believe men because they think, oh, Krishna is very tricky. His friends also very tricky. Krishna always tricking us. He's saying, oh, I'm always with you. I'm in your heart. We feel that. But at the same time, it will just increase our intense separation so that we cannot live in this world, because Krishna has taken so much of our heart. We cannot what kind of love is this? It's not possible to exist in this. So if some yogi trying to meditate some time on Krishna, or we trying to do little chanting, then think of what is the gopis' intention on Krishna consciousness. They're so deeply involved in remembering Krishna's name and his pastimes that they cannot eat, they cannot sleep, they cannot take Krishna away from their heart. Then Krishna decided, no, I have to go. I have to go. I have to be there. Finally, I have to go. So then the way he's coming back to Vrindavan is Jagannath. Why? Because he's so overwhelmed. He's so taken by, smashed by the memories. When somebody intoxicated, he kind of completely losing his perception. So Krishna is intoxicated by love of devotees, and his feeling of reunion with Radharani and his beloved, inhabitants of Vrindavan, that he's so deeply overwhelmed that he cannot even move. And Subhadra and Balarama, they decide to accompany him. So they're coming on 3 wonderful chariots, and when they receive by gopis, they're so involved that gopis are taking their chariots and start pulling them with their own hands. That's why in Ratha Yatra, think of this: if Krishna's so much ecstatic and he wants to see his beloved Radharani, and the devotees that come, they're pulling by hands, hey, Krishna, we're taking to Vrindavan, how grateful Krishna is. Krishna say, if you do something for me I will remunerate you accordingly. All right, you give me 1 step, I give you 1,000,000 step, infinite step. You give me this, I give you that. But he say, but to gopis, I cannot remunerate, because there's no way I can pay them. The only way I can remunerate my gopis, I'll become one of them myself. I become devotee myself. I have to test devotion of Radharani. So in Jagannath Puri, when Mahaprabhu came in his golden form, he started dancing and chanting crazy in front of Jagannath Ratha Yatra, because that festival, Ratha Yatra, is that Krishna is coming to Vrindavan, and Krishna, in form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with the heart of Radharani, devotee, as a devotee, coming, and who can remunerate, Mahaprabhu or Jagannath? There's like, you cannot really understand who is more ecstatic. Obviously, Mahaprabhu is more ecstatic because he's got the heart of Radharani. Now he feels what devotees feel. Now Krishna got that extraordinary feeling that he's hunting for, that he cannot get anywhere, even in Vrindavan, because he has to take heart of Radharani. And with all the Lalita, Saki, Vishaka, all the devotees taking male form as a devotees, they're coming and dancing. And that's same as rasa dance. But the difference is rasa dance is unapproachable by anyone, but that dance is approachable for everyone. Anybody can see it, anybody can hear it. And it's going amazingly crazy. It's going like what Mahaprabhu does. It's such a divine transformation. Nobody can even understand what is going on, what is going on. So there are several circles of devotees around that. Common people try to see, and even King himself is in a very last circus. He's guarding that pastime. So although it's happening under Mahamantra and crazy kirtan and Ratha Yatra, still only a few people can see really what is going on. Other people just, they feel incredible joy, they feel ecstasy, they feel Ratha Yatra, but that very hidden purpose they cannot understand. So that very hidden purpose has been revealed to us by our gurus in Chaitanya Charitamrita and by Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And what I'm just sharing with you is very small. I don't have any way to describe this in a proper, amazing way. But what it is incredible. The Vrindavan, the local Vrindavan, opened the door. Fallen souls. Remember, fallen souls. We're not yogi. We don't have any qualification. So that is the Patit Pavan Lila, when Krishna is intoxicated by devotion. He forget about rules and regulations. He opened doors of Goloka Vrindavan. And he just said, come, the door is open. So, but if you start giving away diamonds, let's say you come to New York and you say, hey, I'm giving away diamonds. So you want a diamond? Is that real glass? Is that promotion? No, it's real diamond. It's priceless diamond. I don't believe it. Don't try to lay tricks on me. So even if you start giving away diamonds, it will be very difficult to convince people that they have to take one or a handful. How many diamonds do you want? How many? I give you as many as you want. But people will say, no, I don't believe anybody can give away diamonds. I know there's a bunch of diamond stores, and I know even small diamond cost a lot of money. But how is that somebody's giving away diamonds? No, it's not possible. It's all fraud. It's cheating. That's how people will think. And even if the news will come and say, hey, it was crazy man, he gave away diamonds, people say, it's just a promotion, some kind of a, don't trust media. But diamonds, we can understand value. How can we understand value of Krishna Prema, the divine love of Krishna? We cannot understand. It's like there's no way we can value that. We live without love. We're looking for love, but that's love mundane. We're looking for a nice girl and a nice boy to be together, to enjoy the union and to support each other. And if we meet the good husband or good wife, we'll be the happy people. If we don't meet the good wife, we'll become philosopher, whatever. Or we meet philosopher wife, whatever. So we're like, our relationships are physical. We're not really divine. But anyway, there's somebody's calling me and I have to finish here soon. So that dance of Mahaprabhu is absolutely an extraordinary dance, which happened during Ratha Yatra. Stephen? Yeah, Stephen, I'm on the Zoom. I call you back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry. So I have to go back to my little work soon. so think of this. We can't really appreciate this. We can't really value this. What is divine love? What is Krishna consciousness? Who is the guru? Who is devotees? It's like we, very little, like, it's all coming as a grace. But to be able to appreciate this, to able to value this, to able to understand and believe in that, that's something very, very difficult to achieve. So it has to come as a grace of devotee, blessings of pure devotees, Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and his followers, like, we have Swami Maharaj, Madhusudan Maharaj. So we have a few people in our mission that more or less have some connection with that on different level. But, it's infinite. So you cannot say, oh, I know everything, or it's mystery. So mystery for me, mystery for you. And don't try to read all the books. Don't try to push it too far, because it will not be revealed to you through brain. It will reveal through heart. According to your heart, it will reveal to you. So try to clean your heart through service and through association with devotees. Try to develop the taste. Even if the taste will be small, but it will be real, it will be wonderful, and it will remain with you forever. So we don't know, I don't know what happened to me this life. Maybe I have to go to hell, most likely. And, most likely all my friends in hell already. So it's not a big deal. But even in the hell, you can be Krishna conscious, because like Revati, she's Naga Lakshmi, Balarama, Anantadev, he's there in hell. But they're Anantadev speaking with thousands of mouths Harikatha of Lord Krishna, and he cannot complete. So sometimes you go to low planetary system and you meet Ananta, who's a celestial snake, and you will hear Srimad Bhagavat from him. And with his 1,000 heads, he's doing kirtan. He cannot complete that kirtan. You think, what is like that 1,000 heads? What is that 1,000 mouths? You need infinite heads, infinite mouths. That's what Rupa Goswami said to all devotees about holy name. If you really want to hear Hare Krishna, you cannot, this little thing is not going to work. It has to come from infinite level, where everything is infinite, divine, true. And this vibration have to awaken our heart. It will awake a certain point, and then we can understand something. Then Mahaprabhu cried, danced, because it's all coming from his internal heart. It's not, so one thing I found about, certain Western cultures, very superficial, because people pretend. It's a very pretending culture. Like you pretend you're in Vaitra, like, oh, Hare Krishna, like it's all pretend. But anyway, that's what people want. They want unless you make it, you have to fake it. You have to fake it as a spiritual person. You have to fake it as like you are such a divine person. You're in deep meditation. But it's all bullshit anyway. I'm sorry. It's not truth. The truth is when it will wake up in your heart, when it click into your heart, then you know what it is. Until that, Tridadapi Sunichana, you have to be very humble, very simple, and try to do service without any big self-assessment. Like, you can answer questions and you can appear to be an expert, but it's only appearance. There's no experts in this. It says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, if anybody heard of that, he has to heard from Svarup Damodar, and everybody think he heard from someone else. He should understand the true source has to be still true Svarup Damodar. Means if anybody real, he will know that it's coming from Svarup Damodar. Means Chaitanya Charitamrita, means our Guru Varga. It can be taught to you by some kind of a other type of people. So I looked yesterday at Ratha Yatra and I saw Shankaracharya, the Acharya of Shankara Sampradaya. He's one of the 4 principal temples in Dwaraka and Puri. And I was lucky to meet him. And he's an incredible sadhu. He's real sannyasi sadhu. So I met him in Kumbh Mela and I was impressed. His lecture was very few people, but he's real Shankaracharya. He's like real the Acharya of the tradition. And he's very learned man. And I said to him, you stay in Puri, Mahaprabhu. And he told me yeah, I've read Chaitanya Charitamrita maybe 10, 15 times complete. And I thought, well, he's a Shankaracharya, he's a very learned man, he's a yogi, he read Chaitanya Charitamrita, but still, with all due respect, he's like, I was going to ask him, like, have you read like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Liberation, etc.? But he understands. I was a little not confused, but he told me one thing. But you have to understand, there's reason when Mahaprabhu took sannyas in our sampradaya. Meaning, like, we also bona fide. We have connection with Mahaprabhu. We're not just, a bunch of Mayavadis. We do appreciate Mahaprabhu, But one thing, what he should say, but we don't have love of Mahaprabhu. The love that Mahaprabhu is giving only through Svarup Damodar, through pure devotees of Krishna. But we can be yogi, we can be sadhu, we can be pious people, austere people. But if we really want to get connection with Krishna consciousness, we need to connect. So we're lucky in our line. We have Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And everybody else, yes, there are great souls. Like Swami Maharaj is a great soul. He has so much, skills to go to mine the deep ideas. And, it's like an incredible mind. And Madhusudan Maharaj, a very great heart. And he's trying to run around and represent from beginning to the end. He'll be happy to teach you ABC because he thinks in Krishna consciousness, it's all important. Like, you cannot really have education without general stuff. So first you learn general stuff, then you get to deeper levels. So he's not like proud, I can only speak some high things. Like the Swami Maharaj would say, I'm not interested in ABC, I'll speak some high things, because he's a professor of higher education. But some other devotees, they're just happy to open the book and read the book. And that's also important because that's coming from the Svarup Damodar. You understand? That's not coming from somebody's brain or imagination. But, still, what we're trying to develop is appreciation and faith, because it has to be, we have to hear this with faith. Faith means belief, and belief comes from somebody who believes. Love comes from love, belief comes from belief. So we live in a world of belief. If there's no belief, there's no, all these things just become literature. They just become information, We're not interested in information, Google full of information. We live in a world of belief, service, and connection. So we have to serve this. We have to sacrifice for this. And we have to believe this is the best thing in our life ever, which we discovered. And everything has to accommodate that. That is not supposed to accommodate something else. No, everything else we do in our life, whether we work or travel, or it has to come to Krishna consciousness. If there's no Krishna consciousness, there's no meaning of that. So it's not like we have something higher than that. Actually, it's not. Nothing higher than that. Some people, they get to India, they meet some bullshit yogis and Krishna consciousness just for neophytes. Like, I've learned some yoga from the guy. They don't understand what it is because, all these yogis, they have no even idea what Krishna consciousness is. Just like I show you this Shankaracharya, Acharya, who's a very learned man. He said to me, I've read Chaitanya Charitamrita 100 times, but to become devotee of Mahaprabhu, you have to have mercy of Mahaprabhu. Remember that. It's not like, you have so much information, or you're a follower of the Vedas, you're born in India, you become a sannyasi, you live in Jagannath Puri. You must be a very auspicious person, no doubt. But become devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have to have mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, hey, Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinu Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Manostute. Remember, Jagannath is very merciful. He's Dina Bandhu Jagatpate. He's the source of the universe, but he's a Dina Bandhu. He's a friend of fallen soul. As more fallen becomes soul, as more merciful become Lord. So as Guru Maharaj said, we're not going to qualify door. We're going to door of mercy. Acting to the door of mercy with a humble mood and begging the mercy. Please, I'm the most fallen soul. But you have to have a little humility. It's not just a label. It's not a mental label. You have to, really understand why you fallen soul, because you have no love of Krishna. You can say, I've been around devotees so much time, I have no love of Krishna. I've been devotees, but I have no faith in Guru. I've been devoted, but I'm still like angry. I'm still like complaining to like I'm still thinking God owns me. Like I don't have any substantial service. My quality of my chanting is crap. Like I can't even chant holy name. I don't have faith. I'm full of material desires. You know, like I'm just pretender. Basically, that's what I am. Everything I do is show. Even for myself, like I'm trying to entertain myself. I don't have any love of God. I don't have any faith. I don't have any devotion. But for some reason, I'm still remaining in Krishna consciousness. But I need some mercy. You know, I'm praying for some mercy. So that is the little humble feelings. But that feeling will come, you know, to a certain circumstance. You know, you have to really be full in soul. Full in soul means, because a lot of cases, like my life was, I felt a lot of things I've done, there was some kind of divine force behind me. But I thought, oh, that's me. It was not me. Anybody could do it. But Krishna, for some reason, chosen me certain things. But my ego would say, oh, that's me. But, you know, that's nature of ego. That's why Srila Govinda Maharaj, he didn't like the ego trip. He thought that our ego is the biggest enemy and the biggest friend. So if we can somehow, through hearing about Krishna and serving Vaishnavas, tune down our ego a little bit, then something real can come. Otherwise, ego will cover Krishna consciousness because it's superficial, artificial intellect. The soul has no ego. The soul is I. Like we have iPhone, my phone. Soul is me, it's not a mind and senses. But that is subject for next conversation. It's already been almost an hour. I want to thank everybody for being part of this program. Within a few minutes, I have to switch to Russian-speaking program. And thank you for engaging me in English. It's very good for me to preach in English. I have to practice. You know, my English is not perfect. I see Narayani Devidasi here. She's doing incredible work, and Nadia and Tulsi and Yuvati and Ananta Shesh and Rasananda Prabhu, maybe a few others. So keep engaging me. I'm thinking maybe next week, hoping to move to Russia for a few weeks. We'll see what's going to happen. And, you know, it's not the best time, but devotees are celebrating so many festivals, and I feel like I'm doing nothing in America, like I'm sitting in prison, speaking on Zoom. So seeing devotees is so happy. And we'll see what's going to happen. You know, we'll see. You know, Russia is a strange country, but you cannot get away from your destiny. So when Yamamoto Sumitomo said, I understood the path of samurai is the death, when the difference between life and death, always choose the death, which means always try to choose something which is against your mundane nature, but will endorse your spiritual nature. So it doesn't mean you have to be stupid, but always choose something spiritual. And as you're going towards self-sacrifice and spiritual transformation, you'll achieve something eternal. You achieve mercy of Krishna. If you go choose something mundane for yourself, comfort, you know, that may not be, that payoff may not be eternal, maybe something that will cause of your trouble. So I've done many trouble in my life. I commit many sinful activities. I've done many mistakes, and I haven't learned much from that. So I understand that what I need is radical transformation, which means engagement in Krishna consciousness. If I can engage in service of devotees and be used by devotees for their service, then you know, my existence has meaning. Otherwise, it's just eating, sleeping, and passing days in this material world, which is basically you know, boring. But once you're in Krishna consciousness, every day you can have spiritual discovery. So my Dandavat Pranam, Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Shri Jagannath ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai.